Then you put the laughing emoji, which would have been fine, but then you put the kissing. Why? You already had the laughing emoji. You were solid. You were emoji packed. Hi, my name is Reese Waters, and I'm troubled. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the page. Michael Eric Dyson, I'm gonna tell you like my papa used to tell me. This gonna hurt me more than it hurts you. Actually, that's a lie. I think this hurts you worse. I told you so, Michael Eric Dyson. You remember what I told you about Nancy Mace?
But when you disrespect Kamala Harris by saying you will call her whatever you want, I know you don't intend it to be that way.
Now, Michael, I'm gonna stop you right there. She absolutely intends it to be that way. She 1,000% intends it to be that way. There's no way she didn't intend it to be that way.
You don't have to intend racism to accomplish it.
You are intending.
She intended it and accomplished it. And it's rare that you actually get a chance to get full video in 4K with sound and everything of somebody both throwing the rock and hiding their hand. But no, we want to try and save them. Okay, so y'all remember when Clancy Moose decided she didn't want to pronounce Kamala's name properly and said she could say it however she wants?
And Kamala's.
You had it right. You almost got it.
I will say Kamala's name any way that I want to.
Well, after the fact, Andy Mice went on the House floor with this.
I'd like to also enter into the record a screenshot of a text message I received from the esteemed professor from Vanderbilt, Michael Eric Dyson.
Now you know you in trouble. Now you know you in trouble at screenshot. You know you in trouble at screenshot. And by the way, I will address this screenshotting of people later, because that is a plague on society.
I'd like to also enter into the record a screenshot of a text message I received from the esteemed professor from Vanderbilt, Michael Eric Dyson, after my CNN interview, begged me for photos.
Not beg for photos. Not beg for photos. Beg for photos. Bro, she said you begged her for photos. This who you wanted to save?
In this text, he says, after calling me racist on CNN.
Actually, that's not true, Nisi. That's not true. We called you racist on CNN. Yeah, society deemed that you were racist on CNN. Actually, he was the only one that didn't do that.
He says, after calling me racist on CNN, shh, don't tell anybody, we look good together, and sent me a kissy emoji.
Without objection.
I disagree. I have objection. I have great objection to that.
The guy says I'm gorgeous in all these photos. I don't think he's that bent out of shape on how anyone pronounces Kamala.
Not to be forgotten by Moore's statement, she pronounced her name correctly in the dismount. So everything that we were saying during the CNN interview, you proved to be, in fact, correct. Thank you for playing. Now, as for you, Michael Eric Dyson, I'm not gonna believe it till I see the screenshot. Because Michael Eric Dyson is on my Mount Rushmore of people I most want to listen to talk about the black condition in America, or America, period. He is one of my favorite thinkers in our country. I need to see the screenshot. And while we're at it, can we acknowledge that screenshots are the devil? There is no way that you can screenshot somebody without either looking thirsty or completely disloyal. Let's start with the thirst. When you are screenshotting somebody, ostensibly what you are saying is, I don't think I'm worthy of this. Look at how incredible this is that this person sent me a message. Unless you are a prepubescent fan hearing from your favorite entertainer or athlete There is no way that you should be screenshotting at this point in our society, unless it's disrespectful. If it's disrespectful, out of pocket, those people should be screenshot. If it's offensive, they should be screenshot. But other than that, somebody saw fit to say, hey, I feel pretty good about how you're coming off as a person, either inside, outside, or both. And just look at your thirst. The other thing that cannot be ignored is, how do you look screenshotting somebody and then going public with it? How do you realize how you come off to the rest of us? Like, I don't want to have anything to do with you after. I might be entertained by it. But we won't be communicating after this. Tell me you can't be trusted without telling me that you can't be trusted, which of course is a wonderful trait to have in our elected officials. She actually has this as her pinned tweet. She took a screenshot and put it as her pinned tweet on social media. You know what? Let me take a look at that thing. Okay, so there are the photos. They took a rack of photos too, apparently. Look at that roll. Shh, don't tell everybody we look good together. Okay, first you messed up when you put the shh. Don't do that. No, don't do that, because that tells me you feel like you saying something wrong. Then you put the laughing emoji, which would have been fine, but then you put the kissing. Why? You already had the laughing emoji. You were solid. You were emoji packed. Well, if it just ended there, you could have told me, oh, well, he's free and frivolous with his kissy emoji. That don't mean nothing. He follows, well, your gorgeousness makes the photos, so there's that. With the smile, with the blushing on the side. You gave her the crying, laughing, the kissy face, and the smile with the blushing on the side? Bruh. And she put all of this as her pinned tweet. This is more devastating than when I recorded immature singing constantly off of the radio onto a Maxell tape and put it in Allison's mailbox at school in the 9th grade, and everybody played it at lunchtime. That was the most devastating thing that's ever happened to me in my life. That's worse than layoffs, all type of stuff. This worse than that though. We didn't have social media. At least it wasn't her pinned tweet. This one's so bad, they out here dragging his clothes. Fight back, Michael Eric Dyson. Well, he did. He responded on Instagram saying, my response to the ridiculous claims of Nancy Mace. I must admit one error about her. Although I claim she wasn't a racist, she is indeed a sorry racist who's seeking to distort the truth and tell lies. But as you'll see here, she's trafficking in untruths. Maybe she misconstrued the text, but the texts are the text. But as far as your error is concerned, I will agree with you there. But there was no behavior that she exhibited now that she hadn't exhibited at the table at CNN. So I don't understand what the new information is that you're getting about Nancy Moose. And I guess me calling Reverend Jesse Jackson gorgeous in my article about him in the Chicago Sun-Times mean I was trying to hit on him. I suppose me calling Reverend Freddie Haynes a virile man and a honeyed slice of masculinity, that's interesting, means I was hitting on him, or calling Boris Kodjoe gorgeous means I was hitting on him. I don't usually respond to nonsense, but I had to get this off my chest. Now, Michael Eric Dyson, you know how badly I want to argue in bad faith in your favor? I mean, just really, do you realize the extent of bias that I approach this situation with in your favor? You have Nancy Mace and Michael Eric Dyson, one of my favorite authors and thinkers in the country, and a woman who said she could say Kamala's name however she wants. Do you realize how much you're up right now in my head? But even I can't ignore what's the difference between those three gentlemen and Nancy Moose. What is the difference? Those are black men who you know. This is a white woman who you don't know, which means you don't know how she's going to respond to you throwing gorgeous and kissy emojis at her. Not to mention the fact, what little you do know about her is that she's the kind of person that would sit up at the desk at CNN in front of black people and say she could say Kamala's name however she wants. What made you think that you could trust that person with the kissy emoji and the gorgeous?
My point is that this is a woman trying to exploit a situation, trying to pretend as if I was trying to hit on her. She literally has that text exchange that I read the whole of it to you. I ain't trying to holler at her. I ain't trying to be with her. I have not dated white women. Not that that's a problem. All three of my wives have been 7 to 11 years older. Again, where in that text exchange am I hitting on you? No.
Okay, what I will say, as far as her trying to exploit a situation, 1,000%. 1,000% she's absolutely trying to exploit it. And that is why that she has it pinned right now on her social media. If you ask me to describe Clancy Mace before all of this happened, opportunistic and exploitative would have probably been in my first 5 words.
What you're trying to do is generate nastiness and viciousness because you're so bitter because you got your butt whipped that night because I told you then that what you were doing is wrong. And let me correct one thing I did say. That night I said, you're a wonderful woman. And then I said, I know you don't intend to do this. And she said, oh, are you calling me a racist? And of course I said, no, I wasn't. Let me correct myself. You are a racist. You are a racially charged, small-minded, bigoted person who is trying to exploit a situation to try to make people believe that I was hitting on you when I've just now read the entire exchange, which is false.
That was pretty good. I give him that. I'll give him that. But the thing is, Michael Eric Dyson, she can't exploit a non-text. She can't exploit a non-text. She can't exploit a non-emoji.
I've read other exchanges with people where I've called them gorgeous and wasn't trying to hit on them. And so your attempt is sad and sorry, but your bigoted, racist attempt will not succeed. Ain't nobody trying to holler at you. And if you're that desperate that you need a black man to holler at you, I'm not the one to do it. There are plenty on your side who can do that, ma'am, but you got the wrong brother in me.
In fact, I know one right now.
We are in it to win it, and we know that with your help, we will.
He's available.
Again, vicious, misleading, lying, distorting, and trying to pretend as if somebody's trying to holler at you when that's the furthest thing from my mind. My mistake was being gracious to you, of trying to say, oh my God, we are opposites, but we can still be gracious to one another. I can still compliment you. I can still say nice things to you. There was no attempt to do anything but to be gracious to you. But you have proved to be what I said you weren't. A vicious white supremacist racist who is incapable of accepting the generosity and kindness of a black man. You are a sorry, sick soul.
Now, as much as I enjoyed that dragon, and I did definitely enjoy that dragon, she wasn't to be trusted with your generosity at all. She wasn't to be. I don't know. Look, what you really meant by those messages, nobody knows. That being said, given the person who she showed herself to be, at the point in which you decide to go with the kissy face and the blushing and the gorgeous, given the person that she showed herself to be, for you to extend yourself in such a way, I gotta go with Niecy on this one. I'm sorry, Michael, I know it don't make. That's why I'm troubled. That's why I'm troubled. All right, let's go to the people. I listen to Michael's response and I believe him. Giving someone a compliment isn't automatically hitting on them. That's true. There's a long history in this country of white women taking the slightest act from a black man and blowing it out of proportion. I'm not falling for it. There were some of those in the comments. I would say the one difference in this particular instance is there's a couple differences. One, the fact that we know exactly what was said. Okay, so it's no game of telephone. Like it is all there on the screenshot, so nobody can make anything up. It is open to interpretation. The second thing is this isn't a person who you don't know. Like this isn't like a complete blind person from off of the street and you don't know how they could potentially react to it. All of the reactions that she has given are traits that she showed before you went with those kissy face emojis and the gorgeous. Like that Nancy Moose didn't go crazy. That Nancy Moose went Nancy Moose. Lonnie Love says, I believe Dyson. He texts using hearts and faces, but there is now a lesson that is learned. Absolutely, there is a lesson that is learned. This could have been a scenario where somebody just doesn't really understand how certain things are going to be construed. I know older people use the wrong emojis a lot. My parents do. And I'm sure when my kids get their first cell phone, they'll be like, why you use the praying hands like all the time? Like this is way too much. You don't even go to church that much for these many praying hands. That is certainly a possibility. But what I will also assert is that the way in which this was received is not out of bounds with how this would be received by most of society. We got another one. Whether or not he was trying to hit on you is beside the point. I think the real point was that he had completely changed his tone as if he had never accused you of being a completely horrible person. People don't do that when they are being genuine. So the question is, was he being genuine with the accusation or the text or neither? My guess, neither. Now, this is actually a really good point because the idea of whether or not Michael Eric Dyson actually wanted to get with Nancy Moose, put that to the side for a moment. The bigger reveal is that clearly the disdain that he and just about anybody who watched that CNN interview might walk away with for Nancy Moose, he didn't carry in his heart. Now, why he didn't carry that is up for debate and interpretation. But at the very minimum, you would think that she has shown herself to be somebody disqualifying of that level of affection. Certainly for me, she did. Now, Michael Eric Dyson tried to go to Twitter to help himself, writing the ridiculous lies told by Nancy Moose in an effort to smear my name because of her anger at being checked for her insensitive disregard for the vice president. I had no intent with her to do anything but be nice, and her white women's tears and mendacity are all in the service of lies and distortions. I was wrong about one thing. She is a bigot and a racist. Now, as far as the white women's tears, she definitely did go with the white women's tears when we were at CNN. I flagged that at the time.
That sounds like self-hatred and justification of white supremacy. And let me just say this, because this congresswoman is a wonderful human being, but when you disrespect Kamala Harris by saying you will call her whatever you want, I know you don't intend it to be that way. That's the history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
Oh, so now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just said you weren't a
BS.
racist.
That is complete
No, you don't have to intend racism to accomplish
you are
it.
intending.
She intended it and accomplished it. And it's rare that you actually get a chance to get full video in 4K with sound and everything of somebody both throwing the rock and hiding their hand. We saw you intentionally correct yourself to mispronounce her name. And now, when accused of racism, Because what other reason would there be for that? We've taken sexism off the table because you fought your way through all those glass ceilings. Remember? So now that we have taken that off the table, now when accused of racism, oh, so now I'm racist. Oh, you think the louder that you say, so now I'm racist, makes you not racist? Oh, you calling me racist? Why? Because I acted racist? How could you do such a thing? In this instance, the tears are not hers. They're not hers. Actually, Michael Eric Dyson, the tears are mine. Okay, the tears are mine because she took your tweet and quote tweeted it and went with beta male. We doing bad. Where's Ta-Nehisi Coates at? Somebody protect him. Somebody protect him. Fight back, Michael Eric Dyson!
So because we live in the crazy year of 2024, she then later accused you of sending her flirty texts, which she entered into the congressional record. Can you clear this up for us, Professor?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, it's great to be here with you wonderful women.
Yes.
Careful, Michael. Michael, careful. Don't go with gorgeous.
The thing is that, let's look at a little background. I'm a preacher, so I know sin, my own and others, right? Nobody's perfect. I saw Whoopi yesterday talk about the fact in regard to Janet Jackson.
Yeah, she's still making them. Yeah, she ain't right.
People make mistakes, and we have to acknowledge that. Number two, as a professor, I've seen things evolve over space and time. What you could say 20 years ago, can't say today.
No. Yeah.
Not because you're suddenly wrong, but the temper of the times has changed.
Right.
So if you acknowledge a woman's beauty, that is a power imbalance, there's a problem there. But peer-to-peer, a different story. Still cautious, but different. And then thirdly, let's look at the politics. We're living in a toxic culture where there's a cancel culture gotcha. We're not trying to elevate, we're trying to eviscerate. So when it comes to Nancy Mace, you see I tried to be nice to the woman. I said, you're a wonderful woman. I lied.
Now here we have another thing that has to be discussed is how exactly we interface with people who we differ from politically. Now, in this particular instance, he's asserting he was trying to be nice and he was trying to showcase that we can still come together despite the fact that we disagree to the extent that we do. However, a relationship, no matter how close or loose, a relationship requires two willing participants. If you have somebody that has shown the traits that she has shown you, then out of your own sense of self-preservation, you need to keep it extremely tight in your interactions with said person. As much as we would love to show generosity to that person across the aisle, you have to know that you have a willing participant and a willing vehicle for that generosity.
I then said, but I tried to be nice to her. And then even when I pointed out to her what the repetition of the misnaming of Kamala Harris would do, she got defensive. Oh, you're calling me a racist. No.
And you never did. I
never did.
Yeah.
I think Shakespeare said the lady doth protest too much. Or in the hood, we say a hit dog will holler. So the point is that this woman has now depended upon, like her inspiration, Donald Trump, a racist trope. The black brute seeks the innocent white woman, now I'm seeking lasciviously to approach her. I didn't call her names. I acknowledge her humanity. And I'll say one final thing to all of these white Christians, and she's one of them. The Bible says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and turn their face to God and turn away from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, and then I will forgive their sins and I will heal the land. They have not forgiven themselves. White Christians hate themselves for the past wrongs that have been done. And I'm here as a loving Christian to say, let's grapple with that past, acknowledge the historic legacy of supremacy. Don't deny it. Don't erase it. Don't eviscerate it. Don't remove it from the history books. Confront it. And then when you forgive yourselves, we can go forward. I am a human being. Have I made mistakes? Absolutely. Have I said the wrong thing to people that I wish I could take back? Absolutely. But I am a child of God. And that means I don't have to be perfect to be useful, and I don't have to be unflawed to shine brightly.
Oh, he back! Yeah, we back! Yeah. Hey, oh, let me get his phone. No, I got your phone. No, we're not going to do this again. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and especially those of you that have liked and subscribed to the page. Did y'all know I had a website? I know, it's so kind of old-fashioned these days. Yes, I have a website, reesewaters.com. There you'll find my most recent work, but also my past work if you want to know a little bit more about me. You'll also find a portal where you could sign up for my newsletter. You could also sign up by sending me an email at reese@reesewaters.com. You could also send me any suggestions for ideas, something I need to take a look at, or you just want to say hello. And by the way, if you go to the website now, you'll find a little something special. That's right, we got merch. There's mugs there, there's t-shirts there, there's hats there, repping street politics, troubled waters, and of course, Racists of the Week. Where would we be without Racists of the Week? I don't know that I would have any content.